Welcome to your personalized deep dive
Oh, wow.
into the world of data retention and compliance.
Okay.
We're about to unpack some training materials you sent our way,
Yeah?
all about Microsoft Purview.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as a high-tech vault
Okay.
for keeping a company's data safe and sound.
Got it.
And get this,
What's that?
a lot of it's in Spanish.
Oh, really?
Who knew data security was so multilingual?
Well, it really highlights
Yeah.
how crucial data compliance is becoming on a global scale. It's not just a concern for English-speaking companies anymore.
Exactly. So imagine this.
Right.
You're a company
Yeah.
juggling tons of sensitive information,
I see.
customer data, financial records, the works. How do you keep it all organized,
Right.
protected,
Yeah.
and make sure you're not breaking any rules,
Right.
especially with the regulations like GDPR?
That's where Microsoft Purview steps in. It's like
Right.
a one-stop shop
Yeah.
for governing and safeguarding your data. It helps you understand what data you have,
Right.
where it lives,
Right.
and who has access to it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But the training mentions all these features,
Uh-huh.
like retention labels and policies.
Right.
It sounds a bit overwhelming.
Let me break it down for you.
Okay.
Imagine retention labels as those best buy dates
Okay.
on food packaging.
Yeah.
They tell you how long to keep something
Mm-hmm.
before it goes bad.
Yeah.
Retention labels do the same for your digital data.
So like a label might say, keep
Sure.
this financial record for 7 years,
Yeah,
and the system automatically knows what to do.
you got it.
Wow.
And retention policies are the enforcers.
Okay.
They make sure those labels are followed.
Uh-huh.
So data is kept for the right amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's for legal reasons,
Okay.
business needs,
Yeah.
or regulatory compliance.
Right.
It's like having a built-in system
Huh?
that prevents you from accidentally
Yeah.
deleting something important
Yeah.
or holding on to data longer than you need to.
Ah, so you're not scrambling to find that one crucial email from 5 years ago.
Right.
Or drowning in a sea of outdated files.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty smart.
It's all about creating a streamlined, automated system
Okay.
that takes the guesswork out of data management.
The training also mentioned file plans.
Yes.
What are those?
You could say that file plans are essentially blueprints
Okay.
for how an organization wants to manage its information.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a map that outlines the types of data they have, where it's stored,
Okay.
and how it should be classified and retained.
Right.
Think of it as bringing order to the chaos of data.
Okay. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Uh-huh.
But what about compliance manager?
It might sound intimidating,
Yeah.
but it's actually incredibly helpful.
Okay.
Think of it as a central dashboard
Okay.
where you can track your company's compliance posture
Uh-huh.
across different regulations and standards. It's like having a personal compliance assistant, keeping you on track
Yeah.
and making sure you're meeting all the requirements.
So it helped you avoid those hefty fines
Precisely.
and legal headaches, right?
And it goes beyond just ticking boxes.
Uh-huh.
The compliance manager helps you understand the why behind the regulations,
Okay.
providing context and guidance on how to implement best practices.
Speaking of real-world applications, the training dives into some interesting scenarios.
Yeah.
One of them starts with creating a retention label
Okay.
called Trollier Activos,
Oh, interesting.
which, if my Spanish serves me right, means trolling assets
Yeah.
for project documents.
Yes.
Wow.
It seems they decided to inject a little humor into the training.
Well, who says data security can't have a sense of humor?
Right.
But they hit a snag.
Oh, what's that?
They had to wait 1 to 2 days
Wow.
for the new label to actually show up in the system.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It highlights a real-world challenge.
Yeah.
The lag time between setting up these policies
Yeah.
and them actually taking effect.
So companies need to be prepared for that delay
Exactly.
and have interim solutions in place.
It emphasizes the need for careful planning and anticipating potential hiccups.
Right.
It's not quite as simple as clipping a switch.
Another scenario focuses on an employee leaving the company.
Okay.
The training talks about using something called a litigation hold
Yeah.
to prevent data deletion.
Right.
That sounds serious.
It is. And it's a crucial aspect of data retention,
Okay.
especially when legal matters are involved. It ensures that important information isn't lost,
Yeah.
even if an employee tries to delete it on their way out the door.
So it's a safety net to preserve evidence,
Right.
protect the company, and ensure everything is above board.
And it shows how these tools can be used proactively
Okay.
to manage risk and avoid potential legal pitfalls.
Okay. So far, we've covered how Microsoft Purview helps organize
This.
protect and ensure compliance.
Right.
But the training also mentions over 385 pre-built templates for assessments
That's right.
within the compliance manager.
It's like having a massive library of checklists.
Wow, that's a lot of templates.
It's best.
But wouldn't it be overwhelming to sift through all of them?
That's where the beauty of this system comes in.
Okay.
You can easily filter and search for the specific templates you need based on your industry, location, and the types of data you handle.
So it's not just a giant intimidating list.
Right.
It's actually designed to be user-friendly and help you find exactly what you need.
Exactly. And these templates aren't just static checklists.
Okay.
They provide guidance and best practices for implementing the necessary actions within your Microsoft 365 environment.
So it's like having a step-by-step guide to compliance, taking the guesswork out of meeting all these complex regulations.
Absolutely. Simple as the process. Saves time and resources and helps companies stay on the right side of the law.
That's pretty impressive.
It is.
To illustrate how all of this works,
Okay.
the training uses a real-world example of a financial services company needing to comply with GLBA, the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act.
Right. GLBA is all about protecting consumer financial information.
Okay.
It requires institutions to be transparent with their customers about how their data is used.
Right.
And, of course, to safeguard sensitive information.
So it's about building trust.
Exactly.
And ensuring customer data is handled responsibly.
And the training walks us through how Microsoft Purview helps companies achieve this.
Okay.
They highlight steps like identifying and mitigating risks related to customer data privacy, which is critical in today's world, where data breaches are becoming increasingly common.
So it's not just about complying with the letter of the law, but also about adopting best practices that protect both the company and its customers.
You got it. It's about a holistic approach to data security and privacy.
The training also dives into implementing data loss prevention or DLP policies. Can you tell us a little bit more about what those are?
Think of DLP policies as a set of rules that prevent sensitive information from leaving the organization. It's like having a security guard at the door, checking for any unauthorized data leaving the building. For example, a DLP policy might prevent employees from emailing credit card numbers or social security numbers outside the company network.
So it's another layer of protection.
Precisely.
Stopping those accidental or intentional data leaks.
Yes.
Before they become a problem.
It's a proactive approach to data security that's becoming increasingly essential.
But even with all this automation, the training still emphasizes the importance of manual verification.
Right.
Why is that still necessary?
Think of it like double-checking your work.
Okay.
You can have all the automated systems in place, but it's always good to have a human eye review things, especially when it comes to compliance.
Okay.
Manual verification helps ensure that everything is working as intended, that the data is accurate, and that you're truly meeting all the regulatory requirements.
So it's that extra layer of human oversight that provides peace of mind and ensures everything is truly compliant.
It's about combining the efficiency of automation with the critical thinking and judgment of human experts.
Now, the training takes an interesting turn and goes into the world of eDiscovery, using something called content search to investigate and potentially purge emails. What exactly is eDiscovery?
eDiscovery specifically relates to legal cases.
Okay.
Imagine a scenario where there's a lawsuit and you need to find all emails related to a specific person.
Okay.
Got it. Time frame.
Got it.
Content search allows you to do just that.
Okay.
You can search across all your company's data, including emails, documents, and even chat messages.
So it's like having a super-powered search engine?
Exactly. And it goes beyond just simple keyword searches.
Okay.
You can use advanced search criteria and filters to pinpoint exactly what you're looking for.
The training specifically mentions using content search to investigate a former employee. And even remove phishing emails.
Right.
Why is that important?
In the case of a former employee, you might need to gather all their emails and documents for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Or to ensure they haven't taken any sensitive information with them.
Okay.
Removing phishing emails is crucial.
Right.
Because they can contain malicious content that could compromise your systems or data.
Right.
Content search allows you to quickly identify and remove these threats, protecting your company and your employees.
So it's a powerful tool for both investigations and proactive security measures.
That's right.
Sounds like content search can be used for both legal cases and more general investigations.
While eDiscovery is specific to legal situations, content search has a broader purpose.
Yeah.
It can be used for internal audits, investigations into potential policy violations, or even just to locate a specific piece of information that's buried somewhere in your company's data.
Right.
It's like having a universal search tool for all your information management needs.
But here's a question that popped into my mind.
Yeah.
While reading through the training,
Okay.
Can content search be reliably used to recover accidentally deleted emails? If someone accidentally empties their trash folder, is content search a magic wand that can bring those emails back?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one that the training actually addresses directly. It highlights some limitations and concerns when it comes to using content search for routine email recovery.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting.
Right.
Tell me more.
Well, firstly, content search can take time, especially if you're searching across a vast amount of data.
Right.
And secondly, you can run into storage quota issues if you're constantly searching and exporting large data sets.
So relying solely on content search for routine email recovery might not be the most efficient or reliable strategy.
It's not a magic wand.
Okay.
While it can be helpful in some cases, it's not a replacement for having solid data retention policies and user training in place.
So what you're saying is it's better to prevent the problem in the first place than to rely on a potentially time-consuming and complex recovery process.
It's about being proactive rather than reactive
Yeah.
when it comes to data management. Educating your employees about best practices for handling data and implementing robust data retention policies will go a long way in minimizing the need for those frantic recovery efforts.
That makes a lot of sense. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
In this first part of our deep dive into Microsoft Purview.
Yeah.
We've learned how it helps companies organize, protect, and ensure compliance with their data.
Right.
We have explored features like retention labels, policies, file plans, and even dipped our toes into the world of eDiscovery with content search.
Right.
But there's still much more to explore.
There is a lot more.
Stay tuned because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve into the practical applications of Microsoft Purview, particularly in the context of legal investigations, eDiscovery.
Right.
We'll take a closer look at those real-world scenarios and see how these tools can be used to navigate complex legal situations and ensure your company is prepared for anything.
Great. Welcome back.
Thanks.
We've laid a solid foundation
Yeah.
by understanding how Microsoft Purview acts as a powerful toolbox for managing and protecting data.
Right.
Now let's shift gears and explore how this all plays out in a real legal scenario.
I'm all ears. The training actually walks us through an example involving a former employee, Lydia Holloway, who's filed a lawsuit against the company for wrongful termination.
Yes.
Yeah.
This scenario really allows us to see Microsoft Purview's eDiscovery capabilities in action. Remember, eDiscovery is all about efficiently searching, collecting, and preserving data. That might be relevant to a legal case.
Right.
It's like being a digital detective, but with much more sophisticated tools.
So instead of digging through filing cabinets, we're navigating a sea of digital files.
That's right.
What's the first step in this digital investigation?
Well, the training shows how they start by creating a new case within the eDiscovery section of Microsoft Purview.
Yeah.
They simply name it wrongful termination case. Keeping things organized and straightforward.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to mix this up with your grocery list.
Exactly.
But how do they ensure that all the relevant data is preserved and doesn't accidentally get deleted during the investigation?
That's where holds come in.
Okay.
They're like putting a big flashing do not touch sign on specific data. It prevents any modification or deletion.
Okay.
Ensuring the integrity of the information throughout the legal process.
So no sneaking in and deleting those potentially incriminating emails.
Right.
What kind of data are they putting on hold in this case?
They specifically target exchange mailboxes.
Okay.
Meaning they're focusing on email data for this investigation. It's often a treasure trove of information in legal cases.
But email can be messy.
You can.
Think of all the spam, irrelevant forwards, and those reply all chains that go on forever.
Yeah.
How do they narrow down the search and avoid getting bogged down in a sea of digital clutter?
The training highlights an interesting step they take.
Okay, what's that?
They proactively remove any potential phishing emails from all mailboxes before starting the more detailed investigation.
Oh, that's smart.
It is.
Those phishing emails could muddy the waters.
Right.
Especially if they contain malicious content.
Exactly.
That could be mistaken for something else. How do they identify and remove these phishing emails?
They create a new search within content search. Remember that versatile search tool we discussed?
Yeah.
They cleverly name it remove phishing email and target all exchange mailboxes to pinpoint these malicious emails. They use a specific keyword, password change, in the sender's email address.
Right.
As this is a common tactic used in phishing attacks.
So they're not just manually sifting through every email.
Right.
They're using targeted keywords to flag those suspicious messages.
It streamlines the process. And ensures they're removing the right emails, but they don't stop there.
Oh, really?
The training shows them using PowerShell to permanently delete or purge those identified phishing emails.
But PowerShell, what is that exactly?
PowerShell is like a secret weapon for IT professionals. It's a powerful scripting language that allows you to automate tasks and manage data in bulk.
Right.
In this case, they're using it to efficiently purge a large number of phishing emails.
So instead of clicking delete thousands of times, they can just run a script that does it all automatically.
Precisely.
That's impressive.
It saves time and reduces the risk of errors.
Okay.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Okay, so they've cleared out the digital clutter by removing those pesky phishing emails. What's the next step in their investigation into Lydia Holloway?
Now they're ready to hone in on data specifically related to her. They create a new search in content search. But this time they use something called KQL. Keyword query language, to get really specific with their search criteria.
KQL sounds complicated.
Don't worry. It's not as intimidating as it sounds. Think of it as a more advanced search tool. Like using those filters on your favorite shopping website to find exactly what you're looking for. It allows you to refine your search and zero in on the most relevant information.
Okay, so they're using KQL to fine-tune their search. What specific criteria are they using?
They're targeting any emails sent to, from, or copied to Lydia Holloway's email address. This ensures they capture all communication related to her, including any potential evidence that might be relevant to her lawsuit.
They're casting a wide net to make sure they don't miss anything crucial. But are they searching through every single email ever sent or received by Lydia?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That could take forever.
Yeah, it would.
You're right. To further refine the scope, they also filter the results by date, focusing specifically on emails from the past month. This helps to weed out any irrelevant emails from years past. And keeps the focus on the time frame most likely to be relevant to the case.
So they're strategically narrowing down their search.
Exactly.
To avoid getting overwhelmed by a massive data set.
That's right.
Makes sense.
It does.
But what happens once they've completed the search and identified those potentially relevant emails?
The next step is to export the data. For further analysis, they download it all into PST files, a common format for storing email data that can be opened and reviewed using programs like Microsoft Outlook.
So they're basically creating a digital file folder specifically for this case, filled with all those potentially important emails. But wouldn't that create a massive, unwieldy file?
You raise a good point. That's why the training emphasizes the importance of selecting appropriate export options. For example, they choose to export a separate PST file for each mailbox, which helps with organization, especially if they're dealing with a large number of mailboxes.
So it's like creating individual chapters in a book, making it easier to navigate and find specific information.
That's right.
Are there any other tricks they use to manage this potentially massive amount of data?
They also enable something called deduplication, which is a lifesaver when you're dealing with large data sets. It automatically eliminates duplicate emails, reducing the overall size of the exported data, and making it much easier to manage.
So no need to wade through hundreds of copies of the same email chain.
Exactly.
Are there any other important details about the export process that we should know about?
One more crucial detail is that they choose to include versions of SharePoint files in their export.
SharePoint. Remind me what that is again?
It's essentially a platform where companies can store and share documents collaboratively. By including versions of these files, they're ensuring they have a complete record of any changes made to documents over time.
So they're not just getting the final version. They're capturing the entire history of the document.
Precisely.
Which could be crucial in understanding how certain decisions were made or information was shared.
It's about getting the full picture, not just a snapshot in time.
This all sounds very thorough.
It is.
So what exactly does this exported data package include?
It's like receiving a carefully organized evidence box. First, they get a summary report in Excel format, which provides a high-level overview of everything they've exported. The number of mailboxes searched, the estimated size of the downloaded files, and the total number of items.
So it's like a table of contents for their digital evidence box.
Exactly.
Giving them a quick snapshot of what they're working with.
And to keep things organized, they also get a manifest file, which acts as a detailed inventory of every single item included in the export.
So they have their summary, their inventory. What else is included in this digital detective kit?
They also get a more detailed Excel report
that
dives deeper into each item, indexing the search results. For emails, this includes details like the sender, recipient, date, subject, and even the location where the email is stored. For documents, it includes the file name, modification date, and the specific SharePoint site where it's located.
Wow, that's a lot of information.
It is.
So they're not just getting a jumbled mess of files. They're getting a carefully cataloged and organized collection of evidence with all the important details laid out.
And to make sure nothing falls through the cracks, they also get a report of any omitted items, like folders or documents that couldn't be downloaded due to permission restrictions.
So they know exactly what they have, and if anything is missing. But what if something goes wrong during the export process? How do they troubleshoot any potential issues?
That's where the log file comes in handy. It keeps a detailed record of every step of the export process, making it easy to identify and resolve any issues that may have occurred.
So it's like a behind-the-scenes look at how the data was collected and exported, providing valuable insights for troubleshooting and ensuring everything went smoothly.
They've got all their bases covered. And finally, once the export is complete, they can start reviewing the data using tools like Microsoft Outlook or other specialized eDiscovery software.
So it's time to put on their digital detective hats.
That's right.
And start sifting through those emails and documents, looking for clues and evidence that might be relevant to the wrongful termination case.
That's right.
But that sounds like a pretty daunting task.
It can be, but remember, Microsoft Purview has given them a structured and organized way to approach this investigation. They can tag relevant emails, create timelines of events, and even use sophisticated analytical tools to uncover hidden connections and patterns in the data.
So they're not just randomly searching. They're using these tools to strategically analyze the information and build a strong case.
It's about using technology to make sense of complex data and ultimately uncover the truth.
This entire process, from creating a case to exporting and analyzing the data, really highlights how Microsoft Purview empowers organizations to manage data effectively and securely.
Yes.
Especially when legal matters are involved.
It's like having a comprehensive toolkit.
Yeah.
For navigating the often murky waters of eDiscovery. It allows companies to respond to legal requests efficiently, demonstrate compliance, and protect their interests.
We've covered a lot of ground in this segment, exploring the practical side of Microsoft Purview in a real-world legal scenario. But our journey isn't over yet. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of Microsoft Purview.
Yeah?
We've explored its capabilities in data governance compliance.
Right.
And even walked through a real-life eDiscovery scenario.
We have.
We've seen how organizations can use it to manage data throughout its life cycle, ensure they're meeting regulatory requirements, and even conduct thorough investigations.
Yes.
Now let's zoom out and think about the bigger picture.
Sounds good.
You know, one thing that really struck me was the sheer number of pre-built assessment templates in the Compliance Manager, over 385.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling how many regulations companies need to keep track of these days.
It's a testament to the complex regulatory landscape we live in.
Right.
From GDPR to industry-specific standards like GLBA, there's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
And it's not a static situation either. These regulations are constantly evolving.
So it's not just a one-time setup.
Right.
Companies need to constantly stay informed
and
adapt to avoid those hefty fines and potential reputational damage.
Exactly. And this is where Microsoft Purview's automation features become incredibly valuable by automating tasks like data classification, retention, and deletion.
Okay.
Organizations can free up their IT teams to focus on more strategic initiatives.
It's like having a tireless robot assistant taking care of all those essential, but often tedious compliance tasks.
Precisely. And it's not just about efficiency.
Okay.
Automation also significantly reduces the risk of human error.
Right.
Which, let's face it, can be a major source of compliance breaches.
Makes sense. You take the human element out of those repetitive tasks and you minimize the potential for mistakes.
Right.
But even with all this automation, the training still emphasizes the importance of proactive data management. Why is that?
It's like preventative health care for your data.
Okay.
Instead of waiting for a legal issue or a data breach to occur, organizations should be actively managing their data from day one. That means classifying it properly, applying appropriate retention policies, and implementing data loss prevention measures.
So it's about building a strong foundation and establishing good habits rather than trying to play catch-up after something goes wrong.
It's a much more sustainable and effective approach in the long run.
The training also touched upon the evolving role of IT professionals in all of this. It's no longer just about keeping the servers running and the computers working.
That's right. IT teams are now playing a crucial role in data governance, security, compliance, and even ethical considerations.
Right.
They need to understand the legal and regulatory landscape. Work closely with legal and compliance teams, and educate users on best practices for data handling.
It sounds like a challenging,
it is,
but also incredibly important and rewarding role.
Absolutely. IT professionals are now at the forefront of protecting one of their organization's most valuable assets. It's data.
So we've gone deep into the world of Microsoft Purview.
Yes, we have.
Exploring its features, its benefits, and even its real-world applications.
Right.
But what does all this mean for our listener? What's the key takeaway?
Regardless of your role or industry, understanding the principles of data governance and compliance is becoming increasingly crucial.
Right.
Whether you're handling customer data, financial records, or intellectual property. You need to know how to manage it responsibly and ethically.
It's not just about technology. It's about understanding the implications of how we collect, store, use, and ultimately protect data.
And as technology continues to evolve, we need to stay informed about new challenges and opportunities. We're seeing greater integration of AI into platforms like Microsoft Purview, which raises important questions about data security, privacy, and even bias.
It's a constantly evolving landscape.
It is.
And we all have a role to play in ensuring that data is used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. This deep dive was tailored specifically to the materials you provided. But remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
There's always more to learn. And we encourage you to continue exploring the world of data governance and security.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Microsoft Purview.
It was my pleasure.
We hope you found it informative and engaging.
Yeah.
Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
And understanding how to manage and protect data is becoming increasingly essential in today's digital world.
It is.
Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.